Hooked On Fishing was brought to you by Matamata Sports World. For all your friendly advice and service, see us first. Hi, Chris Bungard helping you plan your weekend's fishing. Well, I look at like you're going to be heading into a little bit of rain over the next 24 hours or so. Let's hope so. We need lots of it around the Waikato and the surrounding districts. Boy, it's getting dry out there. The rivers and streams around the place, as you can well imagine, are very low, very clear at the moment. But let me tell you, there is some very, very nice fish in those at the moment. Now, you know how I've been talking about some of the little smaller streams around the place, Rappa, some of these little streams that flow into the Waihau and that sort of thing. Well, a gentleman called into the shop yesterday and he was wanting an extra couple of little spinners that he had been catching these fish on. They were a red and gold Veltic, by the way. Now, he was fishing at the mouth of the Rappa and got himself a beautiful trout there, weighed it in. It weighed 3.1 kgs. Now, that's getting up near that 7 pound mark. Now, if I said to you that there was a little stream there that you can step across in places that you'd catch a 7 pound trout, and you'd probably go, yeah, righto, Bungie, what have you been on? You know, it's just not on. But let me tell you, as I've said before, a lot of these little streams and that around the Waikato here have got some very, very nice trout in them. You will get plagued with small ones at times, to be fair, because they are a little bit thicker than the bigger ones. They haven't been around as long, and they will grab your lure and you think, oh, what a waste of time fishing here. Get little wee things about this big. But trust me, there is better fish there. I've said it many a time. Make an effort to get out on the weekend if you get an opportunity and have a go at some of these little streams around the place. Call into the shop, I'll give you some tips on which little lures are working the best at the moment and see if we can help you catch one of those big 3 kilo ones. Talking to Glenn Skinner down in Rotorua, he's very happy with the way the trout fishing's going down there at the moment, particularly on the jigging on Rotowedi and Tararua, to be fair, but Rotowedi mainly. And he said the fish coming in out of there at the moment, it's really settled into a beautiful pattern. Spend a bit of time with your sounder, have a bit of a look around, see where the fish are. But he has been getting some absolute beauties down there. He reckoned he lost one the other day, and of course you know that you always hear these stories from these fishermen, but Glenn's a very straight shooter. It would have been in excess of 12 pound, do you reckon? They saw it, they almost had it to the net, and it busted off. It was the tourist he had out there guiding him around, so he was very distraught. They caught another one about an hour later, 9 pounds, so that sort of helped compensate for things a wee bit. But boy, what an absolute beauty there is coming out of that lake at the moment. If you want to go for numbers, in Lake Rotorua itself, he tells me, is probably the best. Off the stream mouths at the moment, and in the stream mouths themselves, that cold water's still coming in, the lake's temperature's still high, and there's some nice fish being caught. In Rotorua, it's all about early morning harling has been going really well. Talking to my man Ken Duncan down there. But the rivers, they've had a bit more rain down there than we've had, and they're carrying some nice fish at the moment. They've had a bit of a fresh run come into there. I know that happened last week as well. Well, this week, they haven't had that rain, but the fish are still in there. Weighted nymphs during the daytime in those deeper pools, and in the evening at the change of light, get out those imitative fly patterns. Now, to the sea, I think your chances, if you want to catch a big fish like a marlin or something like that at the moment, are the west coast. I've said it last week, I'll say it again this week, is continue to fish well out there, Carthia and Raglan. You don't need to go a long way offshore. Someone asked me yesterday, how far are they going out for these fish, Bungie? Well, I said, look, really, they can start putting their lures in about 48 metres of water or even shallower, and that's only about 6 or 7 miles off the coast, so you're not out there very far. 100 metre lines around about sort of 11 or 12 miles out. But yeah, in a fizz boat, you're out there in a heartbeat. Don't take any risks, check the bar, but this weekend it looks like it should be okay. There is strong winds coming in from the east. They'll make it a bit scruffy in the Bay of Plenty and those sort of areas, but out the west coast it should be okay. Check with the charter skippers first, ask them their opinion, see what they think, and a lot of them will even be quite happy for you to follow them out there. In the Coromandel region, good tides this weekend because they're small. You don't get that big tide run. Now, the big tides are great if you're fishing some of the inner farms, but on the outer farms, where there seems to be good numbers of fish at the moment, the smaller tides are good. You haven't got that huge tide flow. You've got high tide around about 8 o'clock in the morning and again in the evening. So low tide around about, sorry, let me change that around. You got low tide around about 8 o'clock. So you got that change of tide in the morning, and then you can fish the incoming. It's high tide around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So you've got that rising tide, which seems to be the best at the moment. So you'd have to get up there too early, or if you wanted to get there early, you could fish the change of the low tide at 8 o'clock, which would be quite good as well. Quarter to 8, round about that. Then in the evening, you've got that low tide, and the first hour's lift coming into the change of light should be quite good as well. Over to the Mercury Bay region, John Elwood tells me that there's some nice snapper at the moment around in the southern end of Great Merc, along the foul ground there off Peach Grove, Tea Tree Bay, Bumper Point, those sort of areas along there. And out at Motiti and Mare, well, Mitch, my partner in Leander, he's been out and he's been getting some nice fish off the knoll at Motiti. In the evening, at the change of light, get plenty of burley going, and there's some quite good ones out there. The game fishing scenes, it's a wee bit patchy in the Bay of Plenty. Waihow Bay is probably the best shot at the moment for a game fish out as far as marlin and that sort of thing goes. But around the back of Mare, what they call the rises and the knolls out the back of Mare, there's still the odd nice fish being caught out there as well. So well worth a look around, and it's not over yet. There's still some good months to come. Now, if you'd like to win a new reel, well, why wouldn't you? Kilwell, our wonderful sponsors in Rotorua there, they've come to the party again for the month of March. You can give us a call on 0508 647462. That number again, 0508 647462. There's been Chris Bungard helping you plan your weekend's fishing. Hooked on Fishing was brought to you by Matamata Sports World. For all your friendly advice and service, see us first.